Bafuthi lusefu mbuli mpumobola tulamupa mulumbe tulamupa mulumbe mutolele kulusaga kungandembelawo munga obale mulumbe oyo munga obikire mano mulumbe ngo tulomba ngoyu mubikire mano.
Maize is Zambia's staple food, hence government's continued emphasis on farmers to grow enough. However, the country being prone to droughts and floods due to climate change, there is always need for the country to be food secure. That is why government this year has put in 1 billion kwacha to ensure the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, buys 1 million metric tons of maize as part of its strategic stockpiles. And this means serious business for FRA. Chola Kafwavulula, FRA's executive director, is on the ground. After successfully overseeing the maize buying exercise in Western Province, Mr. Kafwavulula visited Southern Province for the same undertaking. His first stop was in Chigankata district, where he visited several satellite depots and interacted with farmers.
I know we're in a liberalized economy, except that if they sell to other players, that maize will go. But if they sell it to their own government can still offload it to them if at all we happen to have a drought. So we can sell to them through the community sale.
Farmers too are happy that FRA is paying them immediately they deliver their grain to the agency.
Abobo ndabakuheba maka intu masango bayigisi yipuka mumando mumbakede ndamulomba nomana Chigankata uti mubamuzeze muli ndajitamebo ndasambala kuli baba utamala kuhombana ino pesa yipuka hinde ndatenda yobo ndasamle kwa FRA abobo no bantu atustrive wa FRA tusungihe
uno mwanga mala ali first tauna ngano bantu tubambira bantu bana bunji bonse tubambira twasa tajirimbulija lonse chemuchero chemwamba uti mulacherwa
While in Chigankata, Mr. Kafwavulula pledged to work with all stakeholders in this year's maize marketing season.
Can you sell maize to FRA, not to briefcase buyers? Because at the end of the day, there will be nothing we will get from briefcase buyers, but we benefit from the government. The maize we sell from the government, that is our maize.
From Chigankata, Mr. Kafwavulula's entourage moved to Namwala and Joma districts, where he gave an update on the maize bought so far by the agency.
What we have bought as of today for the whole country is 290,000 metric tons. Again, when you convert that into bags, gives you about 5.8 million bags.
Mr. Kafwavulula also directed all the satellite depot clerks to intensify the buying exercise of the grain. Mr. Kafwavulula further announced new methods of moving from farm to farm, door-to-door sensitization of farmers on the importance of selling their maize to the FRA. The FRA boss also engaged farmers that were still holding on to their maize. Officials from the agency also spoke during the interactions with farmers.
We've agreed with him that he is going to share the maize at his homestead. And then I and my colleague will come on Monday to do the actual buying.
We are moving door to door to sensitize them, to give them information to say this food that we are buying is for them.
As at yesterday, we had bought 39,800 bags.
Had we not gathered that maize in 2017 with the hunger that was there in the last year, what would have been the situation?
We had only purchased 39 bags, so after giving the farmers the EGBs, now we've gone to 821.
The following day, Mr. Kafwavulula visited Kalomo district and Dundumweze constituency. Here, he was shocked that most farmers continued to lose their maize and money to briefcase buyers who were in the habit of using non-calibrated scales during transactions.
When the farmers bring to FRA, we open, clean, and then put in a 50 kg bag, which we weigh. But if this maize had been sold to a private buyer, it would have gone just the way it is. So on this bag alone, this is more than 60 kg. So the farmer would have lost 10 plus kg.
There are a lot of disadvantages when you supply to these private buyers.
Okay.
Some, they tamper with their scales.
Okay.
And then you find that when you weigh, they do not give you an accurate weight.
Mr. Kafwabulula further explained farmers should sell their maize to FRA.
So it's extremely important that when maize is being sold, the scale that is used is properly calibrated by Zambia Metrology agents. And if you are at FRA scales, you can pick any scale at random. You see there's a certificate there. And this we do every year. And sometimes these scales, they lose calibration because they're very sensitive. Even when we transport a scale in a motor vehicle from point A to point B, sometimes they lose the calibration. That's why for us as a government entity, when we're doing the calibration, it is done on site.
The FRA team then visited Kazungula district and called on transporters to move and start transporting the maize bags from rural satellite depots to the main holding ones before the onset of the rains. Here, Mr. Kafwabulula also announced that government has already paid the transporters 60 million kwacha for the exercise.
So we're encouraging them that since they've been paid, they should immediately start moving the maize. In fact, a good number of them have already started. So there are two things involved. First thing, we want to make sure that we reach our target. The second thing, we'll not compromise on the quality of the maize. We'll make sure that no grain goes to waste.
Further, it was in this district that Mr. Kafwabulula learnt that elephants and buffaloes had continued to stray into FRA offices in search of maize. The animals even brought down the wall fence erected as a barricade.
This wall fence was erected not too long ago, but then you can see at the far end there, elephants came and broke the wall fence. This was also broken. And also there are two other points that side. Now, we are very careful of how we want to prevent elephants from coming here because we don't want to do anything that might again kill the elephants.
The FRA is well ahead in ensuring that the maize as well as the lives of the officers are safe.
In working with the Department of Wildlife, they've actually told us that they can help us erect a special electric fence, you know, which can actually prevent the elephants from coming here to cause damage. We don't want to use the ordinary electric fence because we don't know, we may end up killing the elephants. So it's better we deal with the authorities that are mandated to take care of those animals.
Mr. Kafwabulula concluded his fact-finding mission of the maize purchase exercise in Southern Province on a positive note.
What we have done is we are conducting countrywide what we are calling mobile purchasing. So we are following farmers at their various homesteads. And once we go to a particular farm, we find that there is maize, we move on site immediately. We set up a depot, so we bring our empty grain bags, our cotton, our scales, and all the various marketing requisites, so that the farmer is saved on transportation cost. But it is also an advantage to the FRA because we are able to boost our purchases.
Such are initiatives that every government undertakes to guarantee food security of its people.